It happened on a random Tuesday afternoon. I was in the fitting room, trying on a blouse with a neckline I used to avoid. Open, clean, just enough to show the little dip between my collarbones. And for a brief second, I didn't move, because something looked right. Not younger, not trendier, just right. And I realized it wasn't the blouse, it was the haircut. Just a few weeks earlier, I had finally cut my hair into a bob. Nothing too dramatic, just a soft, chin-length style that gave my face a bit of breathing room. I thought it would be a small change, a tidy up really. But standing there in that mirror, I saw it had quietly changed everything else. The clothes I reached for, the way I wore my neckline, even the earrings I used to forget I owned. And more than that, it shifted how I carried myself. If you've ever felt like your style no longer fits who you are now, or that something about your reflection just feels a little off, you might find a piece of your story in mine. And if these kinds of conversations feel like home to you, gentle, honest, and just between us, I'd love to have you here. So go ahead and subscribe. We're building something lovely. Now, let me show you where it all began, before the bob. Part 1. Before the bob, a closet that wasn't really me. Before the bob, my closet was safe. Lots of soft turtlenecks, long cardigans, high collars, blouses that buttoned all the way up. Nothing wrong with them, but I wasn't choosing them because I loved them. I was choosing them because I didn't want to be seen too much. I'd spent so many years dressing to downplay my neck, my jawline, even my posture. Somewhere along the way, comfortable had quietly morphed into invisible. And maybe you know that feeling too, when your clothes fit your body but not your energy. When your wardrobe starts to feel like it belongs to an older version of you, the version who is busy making everyone else comfortable. I remember reaching for the same navy sweater one day and thinking, did I buy this or just inherit it from habit? It wasn't that I lacked style. It's that I hadn't looked in the mirror, really looked, in a while. I'd stopped asking what felt good, what lit me up, what reflected the woman I was still becoming. I didn't know it yet, but something inside me was getting ready to shift. Not in a loud, dramatic way, more like a whisper. What if it's time to stop dressing to disappear? And that little whisper? It got louder right after the haircut. Let me tell you what happened the moment I walked out of the salon with my new bob. Part 2. After the bob. A face I finally saw again. I still remember the first time I caught my reflection after the bob. Not in a fancy mirror, just a quick glance in the window of a little cafe. But I actually stopped. There she was, me. And for the first time in a long time, I could see my face again. Not hidden behind layers of hair or covered up by collars, but fully there, present, alive. There was something about the way the bob sat just at my jawline, how it opened up my neck, lifted my cheekbones, and softened the lines around my eyes. It didn't make me look younger. It made me look awake. And suddenly, all those high neck tops and heavy scarves felt off. Like I was covering a face that had finally come out to breathe. That week, I found myself reaching for blouses I hadn't touched in years. A scoop neck tee, an open collar shirt, even a little boat neck sweater I almost gave away. And it wasn't about showing more skin. It was about not hiding anymore. That haircut, as simple as it looked, whispered something back to me. You don't have to shrink. And once I stopped shrinking, my clothes started to follow. But the biggest surprise? It wasn't just what I wore that changed. It was how I chose. Let me show you the pieces that suddenly started working. Clothes that didn't just flatter my bob. They reminded me I still had a little spark. Part 3. Clothes that work with a bob. Not just flattering, but empowering. It started with one blouse. A simple white button-down I'd pushed to the back of my closet years ago because the collar felt too open and the fabric didn't lay right. But after the bob, I tried it on again, and it was like it finally made sense. The way the collar framed my neck, the way the fabric moved without swallowing up my new haircut, the way the light hit just under my chin, making me feel, dare I say, elegant. That was the moment I realized my clothes didn't stop working. I just wasn't wearing the right ones for this version of me. With short hair, especially a bob, you start to notice balance. Tops with clean necklines, like V-necks, boat necks, or gently open collars, suddenly lift the whole face. Fabrics that move a little, soft cotton, linen, silk blends, give space for your hair to shine instead of fighting with it. I even found that blouses with a little structure, a defined shoulder or a subtle waist, helped echo the crispness of the cut. It wasn't about dressing younger. It was about dressing lighter, like I was finally matching the freedom I felt inside. Now, instead of hiding under layers, I was showing up with intention, and it felt good. Next, I'll tell you about the smallest things that made the biggest difference. The earrings, the necklines, the little choices that whispered, "You're still here. You still matter." Part 4. Small accessories, big shift. Earrings, necklines, and confidence. The first time I wore earrings again, it surprised me how exposed I felt. Not in a bad way, just visible. With my old, longer hairstyle, I rarely bothered. Studs would get lost in all that hair. Hoops would tangle. Necklaces, they'd disappear under scarves or high collars. But now, with the bob, suddenly, those little things mattered again. I found myself drawn to small gold hoops that gently hugged the ear. Not flashy, but enough to say, yes, I'm still here. A delicate necklace resting just at the collarbone. A pair of silver drop earrings that moved when I turned my head. Even a bright lipstick, once forgotten, found its way back into my purse. These weren't bold fashion statements. They were gentle nudges, reminding me I'm still worth adorning. And it's funny, I used to think accessories were for special occasions, but now, they're part of how I see myself. When your hair lifts off your neck, opens your face, and invites the light in, those little touches become part of the conversation. They balance the bob. They soften or sharpen, depending on what you choose that day. But most of all, they say something we sometimes forget to tell ourselves. You're allowed to be seen. Next, I want to talk about what really changed, deeper than earrings or fabric. Because while the outside shifted, the inside did too. Part 5. The inner shift. More than just style. Here's the part I didn't expect. I thought changing my haircut would stop at, well, the hair. But something happened the moment I looked in the mirror and actually saw me again. Not the version shaped by routines or comfort or age, but the woman who still wanted to feel alive in her own skin. The bob didn't just change how I dressed. It changed how I chose. Suddenly, I wasn't picking outfits to hide in. I was choosing clothes that matched how I wanted to feel when I walked into a room. Open, light, grounded, present. I stopped asking, will this make me look younger? And started asking, does this feel like who I am now? And you know what? That small shift, from shrinking to showing up, seeped into other corners of my life. I spoke up more. I laughed louder. I took more photos. I stopped saving my nice blouses for occasions that never came. Because here's the quiet truth. When you start seeing yourself differently, you start treating yourself differently too. And for me, it all began with one small cut, a bob haircut that opened my face and unlocked a part of me that had been waiting quietly in the background. Next, I want to leave you with something even deeper. What this journey has taught me about being seen and why it matters more now than ever. It's funny, isn't it? You think you're just getting a haircut, just tidying things up, making life a little simpler. But sometimes, that one small change becomes the doorway to something much deeper. For me, the bob wasn't about reinventing myself. It was about returning to a version of me that had been waiting. The one who still wanted to be curious, expressive, seen, without apology. I don't dress to impress anymore. I dress to reflect where I've been, what I've learned, and who I'm still becoming. And maybe that's what Style After 60 is really about. Not chasing trends, not covering up, but choosing, with intention, with joy, with a little sparkle in the eye. So if you've been thinking of making a change, big or small, whether it's a new haircut, a new blouse, or simply saying yes to yourself a little more often, I hope this gave you a gentle nudge. And if any part of this story felt familiar, if it felt like you were sitting right here with me, cup of tea in hand, then I'd love for you to stay a while. Subscribe if you haven't yet. This is a space where we grow into ourselves, beautifully, quietly, and fully, because we're not fading. We're just finally stepping into the light.